Survivor Season 50, Episode 4. Time to break it all down. It's the recap show of the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital Live, and it starts right now. All right, let's break it down, Boy Green. A lot to get into on this episode. Let's start.
Whoa, hey, my pizza guy. What's going on?
Will woke up with a crab right on his chest. It was so funny. We caught it and ate it.
Give a flying hoops a minute. Give your hand.
Oh, boy, folks. Here we are. Welcome aboard. It is the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital, the Survivor recap show. Jump in the comments. Say hello. Tell us what's going on, so on and so forth. Breaking down the episode. We had another celebrity appearance tonight. This one in person. We'll talk all about Zach Brown being there and all that kind of jazz and much, much more. Boy Green, good evening. How are you, sir? You're a happy camper. You didn't lose anybody tonight. As usual, Manchild loses a player first.
Yeah,
Mike White playing too aggressively. We'll get into it. Break it down. Upset. Very upset tonight. This could get nasty. That's all I'm telling you.
Yeah, let's put it up.
Get rid of the board. No, I don't want to see the board. Just get that board out of here and stop with that. Is that tears that you put on the board? Don't put tears.
I know those are flames.
Flames.
But I guess they could be tears for you, Lurch.
Yeah, flip them upside down and they're tears. That's what they really are. All right, let's bring in the guy that talks all about it with us. He's the most important part of the show anyway. The former castaway himself from Millennials versus Gen X, Bret LaBelle. Hey, Bret, how are you?
Hey, guys, I'm not that important, Lurch. Come on, stop it. Well, but I will say this.
I'm the least
told you not to take him. I mean, I said he wasn't going to last long. I've been saying
playing well. Mike White was playing well.
He was.
I agree.
Come on, man. I like his game this time around. He was playing a better game, even though he got voted off obviously much earlier.
Yeah, but his problem tonight was he went for someone that couldn't be saved, and it ended up biting him.
Yep.
You have to know, where you sit, and he thought he was saving her, and he went out of his way to save Angelina because she's his friend, and it ended his game. So.
And I mean, his greatest strength ended up being his undoing. He said, I'm going, he tells us in the confessional, I'm going to manipulate Christian to get what I want. And he tells him, hey, this Emily situation, you trying to save her is very Gabby-ish. And from his previous season. And then Christian in his confessional starts breaking down into tears, and they show the moment where Gabby tried to stab Christian in the back. Luckily, he was protected, so he didn't go home on that one, but the damage was still done. And he went, Christian has the awareness to go, damn, Mike White pulled out the thing that he needed to pull to try to flip me, but I realized it, and now I need to use it to flip on him. So, yeah, a little too hot. And to your point, Bret, again, you got to know when to, and it hurts, it's your friends. Bret, I'm sure you had to do it in season 33 of like, when you realize where the numbers are and you're like, man, I would love to save this person if I had the power to flip it, but I can't. And I just have to do what it is, go with the group and get rid of one of my friends.
And Bret, you'll like this. I mean, the line he used, I wrote it down. He called himself a Machiavellian puppet master. Oh, Mike.
You used that before too on a previous episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Mike White played a much better game this game than I thought he was going to. I think that his one mistake was trying to save Angelina. But look at it from Mike's point of view. He's a very successful director. It's his friend. He probably wished he went home over her. So it was all. I think everyone's happy. Let's put it that way.
One problem that I did see in Mike's game tonight was, and I think it would have been his demise down the road if it wasn't tonight, if they had made the right vote and voted either for Angelina or for Emily, who Emily deserved to go tonight. Just all the flipping and flopping.
Sloppy.
Too much. I mean,
when she did that to Chris, when after here's Christian trying to save her, and Ozzy comes walking in, she shoots him off. That should have been. He should have said, you know what? No. She's
right.
Go.
It's over. Right. Lost cause.
But he did this, Bret, and you tell me, I mean, you're the expert in tribals, and you've been there, you sat there yourself. So, I mean, give me your insight on this. But, of course, Jeff Probst's job is to ask penetrating questions, to try to flush out things a little bit. And, sometimes the contestants are very giving, and sometimes they're holding a little closer to the vest. And frankly, I think holding it close to the vest is the better approach,
Yes,
especially if you plan on lasting in this game. You don't want to give away your own game, and you don't want to say too much. But Mike's whole diatribe about how in Hollywood his job is basically to sell people on BS. I mean, you kidding me? He's my next target. After that whole thing, if he doesn't get voted out tonight, he's now become my number one target if I'm someone else in that tribe, because this guy just basically has anointed himself the king of BS. You're out of here, dude. I can't trust you. You are the heck out of here. I can't play with people like that. Was that a big mistake in your eyes, Bret?
I mean, I think he was already done by that point.
Probably.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't, that's not something I would share at tribal council. Unless maybe Mike knew he was going home. So I don't know. I have no idea. So,
but especially Christian, right? So he responds, "Wow, I've never seen it from that perspective before." And I was like, "Oh, that's not the kind of perspective you want to be sharing at tribal council, that's for sure." By the way, I want to give a shout out. Your buddy, it's in here, Bret. Derek the Cop. Great episode. He enjoyed that. So Derek the Cop is among us in the
our
comment
one
section.
listener, Derek the Cop.
There you go. He's the man. We got a couple hundred people in the room, folks. Feel free to interact in the comment section here, live on the program. And we need to get to this as quickly as possible, boys.
Many viewers, Bret. We just don't have a lot of commenters. Get in the comments, folks. We want to hear what you think.
Don't be afraid.
I was just teasing. Yeah, we only have one commenter. You know?
Why I imagine this is going to get some comments and some reactions. Is have it in the headline: the Zach Brown controversy. Here he is. He pops out of the jungle right next to Jeff. And he has this long, drawn out intro about one of the most unique rewards of all time. And I forgot, I knew that he was in it because they've shown trailers of him, but I didn't know how, and none of us did, I suppose, of how he was actually going to be sort of thrown out there in the group. And then when he's like, come on in, Zach. And then Zach comes out and it's this whole thing. So yeah, Zach Brown, and then it comes over on a boat, and we could get into all the specifics, but raw reaction here, Bret. There was a lot of social media attention on this, and I will be honest, a lot of people were not fans.
I know, and I'm going to shock the hell out of everyone and say I kind of liked it.
All right, Bret. Yeah. Proud of you, man.
And trust me, guys, and here's why I liked it, because it's something I've been complaining about for a long time. Rewards have been horrible.
Yeah.
And the fact that they have Zach Brown coming in fishing, which I thought was really kind of cool to watch him do that.
Yeah, the way they shot him spearfishing, and apparently, unless it's just a clever editing, he caught two massive fish. My God.
Two massive tunas. I mean, it was awesome. And those fish on that grill looked so good. That was mouth-watering. But I think he is a legit fan. I liked this. First of all, rewards are supposed to be like this. If you watch the season 1 through 10, like Joe said tonight, this is the best thing ever. It's like, then you've never watched the first 10 seasons, because no, it's not the best reward. You're at the sanctuary, so it's obviously not the best reward ever. If you've ever gone back and seen Survivor in its infancy, you'll know they had some of the best rewards ever back then. I mean, people were getting cars, people were on yachts, people were in these, it's like you have Zach Brown coming out Survivor. You couldn't splurge and get a resort for one reward. It just, to me, it was like, come on, man, it's so hokey still, but at least they had something really good. I thought that was a really good reward. I've been saying the rewards are going downhill, and so this definitely was a pick-me-up. It was really cool to watch him sing. To imagine being there at that concert. It's really cool. But I have a lot of things to say about the people that didn't make the concert.
Yes. So, Bret, first off, before I even share my story about it, are you a country guy? Are you aware of Zach Brown? Okay.
I met Toby Keith when my season was there.
Yeah, that's a nice
God
flex.
rest his soul. Great guy. Great singer. I'm a huge Toby Keith fan and have been for years.
Yeah.
I sing his songs all the time in the shower, in my car, alone.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, I know. I'm sharing a lot here.
That's what this is all about, Bret. Is bring us in deep. Yeah.
Chris Hammonds, who was a star of the OU.
Sure.
He's got to be a country music fan, right?
Yes. Well, he lived in Toby Keith's town.
Oh,
Toby
cool.
Keith. So, unbeknownst to me, because Toby Keith's a huge OU fan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, of course.
So we were out drinking the night before. One of the guys, Chris knows, works for Toby, and he said, "Oh yeah, Toby's probably going to be at the game tomorrow." And Chris is like, "Hey man, you might meet him, Brett. You might meet Toby Keith tomorrow." So I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool. You know, I'd love to meet Toby Keith." So we were on the field for the beginning of the game, and all of a sudden, here comes Toby Keith walking down the field, and he goes right up to Chris Hammonds, gives him a big high five. He goes, "I'm watching you, brother. I'm watching you on Survivor. You're kicking, ass on that game." Nice. And I go, son of a bitch, Hammonds knows them. Like Hammonds know, because they're from the same town. They're not but they lived in the same town. And then he's an OU fan, and Chris was a star of the championship team in 2000. So he says, "Well, you got to meet my buddy Bret." And so he's a Boston cop. So we started talking. I talked to him for about 10, 15 minutes. Really nice guy, good dude. So I'm a huge country fan. I know Zach Brown. I've seen them many times. I've worked the concerts at Fenway, probably like at least 3 or 4 of the 14 that they're talking about. Yeah. So I this was a really cool reward. It was good that I hear everyone with how hokey it was. I hear everyone that they've jumped the shark, but I just think because it was a reward, I liked it.
You like it. And the other thing I will say, Brett, is I love the intimacy of it, that I thought they were going to bring in a bunch of band members and it was going to be like, a big time concert kind of thing. It's just him and his guitar, man. He just tunes it up right in front of him and just starts singing from the heart, man. I was like, damn, and you could see how moved the contestants were. I don't think there was a lot of BS there. I mean, we saw the tears rolling. I mean, that is kind of intimate and unique. You don't get that very often in life. A country superstar sitting with 6 individuals or 7 individuals just pouring his soul out and saying, "Hey, what song you want to hear, boys? Girls, what you want to hear?"
Yeah, giving him a private concert. I thought it was cool. I mean, I get it. I think the thing like the idols for Billie Eilish and she writes you a letter like that ticks me off more than this. This is a reward. They won this, and it's something really cool. So I liked it.
Yeah, and I will say this. So again, I'm going to be honest. I'm not a country music guy at all. So, this is probably for all the people. They're like, "Oh, Zach." I had no idea really outside of that he was a country guy. I knew really nothing about him. So when that was teased on the Survivor thing, I'm like, who the hell is Zach Brown, basically? And I will tell you, with that mentality going into this episode, I imagined I was going to hate this. But I'm with you, Brett. I loved it. And I thought it was intimate. I thought it was cool. The part that I know some people may not love the long Jeff Probst intro about Zach Brown, but the thing I loved about it is that he said that Zach Brown, this was his entire idea for the reward, is that he would come and do this musical performance in front of what ended up being 7 tribe mates. He would go spear fishing and then bring it to the sanctuary and cook up the fish, scale it down and break down the fish and do all that stuff. So I love that he's such a massive Survivor fan. People sometimes say they're a Survivor fan, but they're not. It's like when people sometimes see, it's definitely not the same. Me and Lurch are no Zach Browns, but people say they're football fans. We talk to them for 3 minutes. We're like, so they're not really sports fans. Like Zach Brown is clearly a diehard Survivor fan. This meant a lot to him. And it was cool that he had such a personal touch on this reward. And obviously the people were moved. And to me, that was the coolest part. And Dragon Slayer just had this moment during it where he was saying, we don't savor the moments enough. Like he and his other 6 tribe mates over there was trying to take it every second. He said he was trying to slow down Zach Brown being there to just sort of savor it. And it just rings true for me. In my life, I'm running 100 miles an hour every day. I got 2 kids. I'm trying to savor every moment that I'm with them, but I'm just working. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that are watching the show. And when he said that, I'm just like, damn, we really do need to just slow down. And, it's in their case, it's a Zach Brown band happening in front of them. But for all of us, the things in life that really, make us move and groove to sort of savor these moments. So it was very moving.
Yeah, I liked it. And he cooked that tuna, looked fantastic on that grill. And there's my 2 favorite fish are salmon and tuna. And man, that looked fresh and it looked really good. So
the only challenge flag I have on this is so Zach Brown said he was spearfishing. In my head, I said, oh wow, he's gonna have the old Hawaiian sling and he's gonna be out there. He had like a bazooka. The freaking spear gun when he was hunting these fish, was shooting, and I was like, "Good Lord, is this even fair for the fish?" He's got like a shotgun down there as he's taking out these fish. I mean, it was big fish.
You see the cool flippers he was wearing too? Those things were huge, man.
He was fully equipped. He was fully
how
equipped.
long can Zach Brown hold his breath? My God,
he
He was down there forever.
Swimming with the sharks. What's he doing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't swim with sharks, so I don't know. But I'll tell you, I was very nervous for him. I'm like, he's very deep down, and he doesn't have any air. That was not he had no tank on him. He just had the snorkel. So I was very impressed with how he could hold his breath for so long.
I like again too with this particular reward how they only gave it to one tribe, so it was a small group
out of 3 possible tribes, right?
It
Yeah,
could have been all but just the one that was going to tribal. I like that piece of it too. And I quite enjoyed that it was I'll call it the loyalist tribe. That's what I call them now with Colby, Coach, and Joe.
Yeah, right.
That tribe, and I mean that tribe, old and creaky as they might kind of be, it's unbelievable. Like they're performing in challenges, man. They are delivering the goods. Colby is a reborn guy, and he's a country music freak from where he's
of course you could hear him
from back in the Outback. I mean, so you're like, come on, this guy's gonna be eating this up, and you could just see the look on his face. He was in his glory, so that was really cool. I'm very, very impressed this time around with Colby and how he has treated this season of Survivor. There's just this kind of nice, almost respectful thing that he is in this Survivor. I mean, he's always been that kind of guy, but I don't know. There's just something unique about him this time around.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was cool. It's funny. He said, "This is what rewards are like." I'm like, yeah, well, they haven't been like this in a long time, like something this good. So, but again, Colby comes from a different perspective of the game. He comes from the first few seasons. He's probably shocked at how little money they're spending now.
So shout out to Zach Brown. So again, we definitely had to get that in. I know that was one of the most buzzing
What do you think about the losers? Like Dee crying because she didn't get it. I want to say, honey, I'm here in Boston, Massachusetts, crying because I'm not on 50. Okay, I think I'd be okay coming in second and missing Zach Brown if I could be on 50. I'm like, these people are unbelievable. Like I don't know. That kind of made me angry. I'm like, you're crying because you couldn't see Zach Brown. I mean, come on, stop it.
Especially
season 50, which 573 other survivors would love to be on. So just relax, settle down.
Especially
I like Dee. I don't mean to beat her up, but
and she is on my fantasy team, so that's a personal.
But I like her personally as a person.
Claws were coming out too. Win or nothing was her motto.
Right. Well, which again, I love that mentality.
She was on.
She did.
I mean, am I being ridiculous or
no?
Like you're crying because you didn't get to go on the reward. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I think on one hand, she didn't even know Zach Brown was even an option until like 5 minutes before. So, like, how do you miss the thing you didn't even know you had? So, like, that part is it.
And you're not voting out a tribe mate. Like,
true.
And you're on
losing.
You're on season 50 where they have these sort of things where you can see Zach Brown. I don't know. To me, I'm like, wow, how out of touch are you right now? That you're crying because you didn't win. I don't know.
That's it. And it's an awareness thing for me because I heard her other tribe mates going, yeah, sorry, you didn't get to see Zach Brown. You seem like a big fan. Like, just read the rest of the room. What about the rest of your tribe mates? Okay, Dee, it's important to you. Explain that in your confessional and pour out if you want to. But she wasn't just crying at the confessional. She was crying to all her tribe mates. I think the rest of her tribe mates like, this is uncomfortable. We didn't get it either.
She's won the game before. Like, I don't know. I don't know. And again, I actually like her. I liked her when she won. But I just don't know. This was weird.
Not a shining moment for Dee as far as you're concerned. And I kind of agree with you. One more thing on the challenge before we move on and talk about some of the other things that happened in this episode of Survivor. The other thing was, I mean, give me your take, Brett. I mean, I know that the Mike White tribe, which ended up going to tribal, of course, is the weakest tribe physically. I mean, by voting Q out last time, they really put themselves in a predicament if they were going to get a physical challenge. And they got one of the most physical challenges you could possibly get, moving those darn boats and then having to throw the blocks in there and moving it with the blocks. You knew that was going to be trouble for that tribe. But the fact that they didn't even get to the boat to the end of the line, Brett, I mean, was it a pathetic performance in your mind, or is this just they just didn't have the horses and this was bound to happen this way? Were you screaming at the TV? That's pathetic. Or were you saying, that's the cards?
No, I know. I looked right at that because we did a very similar challenge on Millennials versus Gen X, where we had to get this big box, thing it was like a treasure chest or something through one of those rope things. Net No, net things or
Netting.
whatever.
Yeah, and you got to lift it and shove it.
And it's the one where Hannah, if anyone remembers, she picked all of her friends, so it was all like small, weak people. And Chris was the other captain. He picked like literally all the winners, and we smoked them. And they couldn't get out of that net either. They were stuck under the net. And this reminded me of that challenge on Millennials versus Gen X. But so I was like, well, yeah, that's going to happen because I remember doing it. We were pulling that thing under the net. It's very hard to do. It keeps getting caught up. You got to work together. You got to push. It's extremely heavy. So, yeah, I was not shocked when I saw who was on that tribe that they had trouble with that.
Yeah, I will say that was a funny moment before the challenge started. Jeff is looking around and explaining the rules that, okay, there's 3 of you here. One of you is going to win this Zach Brown experience. One of you will have immunity and one of you will lose. And Mike White's like, why are you looking at us? You think, what do you suppose we're going to lose? Yeah, and then Jeff's like, I don't know why I'm looking at you. Let me start looking at everyone else. I'm not trying to suppose. And then he supposed correctly because Fatu did end up losing. So the one thing I will say that I'll miss, Lurch will miss him because he draws first blood in our fantasy draft, which we'll reference later. But Mike White, I think it was a really good storyteller. So I think we're going to miss that. I've thoroughly enjoyed his confessionals. I've enjoyed his interactions. I've enjoyed his moments that every survivor has on the show. So I think that part we're going to miss. But thankfully, I think there's like a lot of really good people on this cast that we'll be able to lean on, but that will be the loss of those funny moments like that with Mike White, who's a really good storyteller. We'll miss some of that.
I think there's some good people on this cast, but I don't think there's a lot of good people on this cast. I will say I really enjoyed Mike White this season. And I agree with you that it's a loss because his storytelling was fantastic. I found him entertaining. He actually was playing. He was playing pretty well.
Yes,
pretty hard.
I think if he just tweaked that conversation with Christian a little bit, I think he might have sailed through this week too. But
yeah, he was too killer. He was just too killer, and I don't think Christian handled that very well. Right?
Literally, as soon as that happened. I'm sorry, Brett. Literally, as soon as that happened, I text Boy Green. And I was like, "Mike's going to be the target now. He's being aggressive." I think you could just feel it. Christian giving him the glare back. You're like, "No, Mike, don't push the envelope too far. He's in your corner. You've got to massage it." He just didn't massage it.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking to Christian. Like Christian's
smart guy.
He's a very brilliant guy. Mike White thought he was smarter and he was going to sneak this in and manipulate him. And it's like, you're really not going to do that with Christian. Christian's very smart. He thinks that things are all angles, for crying out loud. Like, I don't know. I think it was a major hiccup. And I think if he had just handled it with a little more kick gloves, I think he would have been fine.
All right. Let's some of the other elements. You want to jump in first, Boy Green? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to go back to the beginning of the episode, and Brett, you said this is something you want to see is more camp stuff. And at the beginning of the episode, we got the Survivor Talent Show, and Rizgod with his Mickey Mouse impression. Devins tried to do some terrible juggling, which was involved, so that was nice. And Rizgod ends up winning it. And then we see more of this. We got strong hints of it on this episode. We've seen strong hints of it before, strong hints of it coming up. The Rizzo Charlie beef continues to be it, and Charlie won't stop. It's like this thing that's hanging over him, and that's all. He just has blood on his mind. He's like a bull, and he's seen red, and there's nothing he can do until potentially Rizzo's out or he is out himself. But he keeps saying, like, man, I lost to Rizzo. I hate that guy. It just, man, it's entertaining for me on the outside of it. But, I imagine for people to have, like Charlie Rizzo, like you, Brett, like that's just a lot of drama.
Well, I think, sadly, I do have Rizzo because I think his days are numbered. He's got Charlie gunning for him. He's got Genevieve gunning for him. So, and he thinks he's the best player that ever played Survivor. So I think that statement alone says he's probably gone next week or somewhat time soon. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I do like more camp time, but I don't like stupid shit. And I think that that was stupid shit what we watched. But whatever, I always enjoy seeing them have a good time because I remember the days when we were there having a good time. But more camp life. I like to see people talking. I like to see conversations being had. I like to see gameplay But
I appreciate your honesty, Brett. You're always a straight shooter. You let us know what's on your mind.
Brett, I mean, let's if you were judging it, I mean, the judges went their way, picking Rizzo in the Mickey Mouse voice. I mean, I thought the wrestling bout between Charlie and Jonathan
that was
far more entertaining. I would have definitely given them my vote. So what happened?
Way more entertaining.
Them the vote.
And creative. Yeah.
Yes, creative, and they practiced it. Yeah, it was. I definitely think Rizzo shouldn't have won that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Genevieve has become the queen of idols, Brett. The problem is she doesn't have any for herself because she keeps finding boomerang idols and boomerang them to the wrong people on other teams, at least as far as I'm concerned. Now Rizzo's got one, Ozzy's got one, so all your people are getting boomerang from Genevieve, who was the number 1 pick in this draft and my number 1 pick. It's not good. I'm not liking this.
But Lurch, I think she's learned from her first one because I think she's figured this out, how to work this thing now. She's not going to tell anyone, which I've been screaming at the TV for about 6 to 10 seasons, telling people, why do you keep telling everyone that you found the idol? So she was smart enough to keep it quiet. And then I also think that she's bright because she gave it to somebody that's going to trust her so she can vote them out and have it boomerang back to her, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I'm really excited to see if this actually plays out.
So what do you think Rizzo does with it, Brett? Because, again, no one else knows what Rizzo did with the idol in 49, so he has that as a tactical advantage of some kind that people don't know what he attempted to do last time. So if he wanted to, he could try to do it again. Now, more savvy players, maybe they don't play around the way 49 players played with him. But what do you anticipate here with Rizzo? Does he get goofy and do something funky? Does he hold on to it forever? Does he get trigger happy and at first opportunity just say, hey, it's idol time? What do you think he does?
No, he's going to try and hold on to that idol as long as he can. And I think what's going to happen to him, because he was extremely lucky in the last season with idols. But now it's in his head that he can't be, like, I'm telling you, he's young. He's like, come on, I can do this. I've done it so many more times.
Cocky.
Yeah. I think what we're going to see is it's going to burn him and he's going to go home and it's going to boomerang back to her.
I'm going to make an early prediction here, Brett. We didn't see anything in this in play this week, but we all know that, I think a couple of episodes ago, that Rick Devens hid the scroll at Tribal, at Tribal.
A fake idol, right.
A fake idol in a scroll, stuck in a rock, hoping that someone's going to see
by the fire pit.
Mistakenly play this thing. I'm going to make a prediction right now that Rizzo is going to be the one who finds this, and it's going to come back to haunt him. That's my prediction. I'm just going to throw that out.
Wait.
Rizzo could be the one.
All right, I'm writing that down. 318 at 10-11.
Right. Making a prediction.
Yeah.
Because he's the type of player to, number one, be that kind of, he's very observant, he's like always thinking, he's always scheming. He's a schemer. And I could see him being observant at Tribal, spotting something like that and finding a way to grab onto it. I just have a feeling. I'm completely and utterly nothing off the internet or anything I found. This is just completely and utterly speculative on my part. I'm wrong about so many things. I might as well be right about something, right? Maybe this will be the one time.
I guess that's true. I would just say, I'm sure maybe that's a way that Christian and Devens would prefer it to get played because it's stupid, right? They think they're safe. They're really not safe, and they find it and they do it. Right. I don't know. I feel like it's a thing that Devens or Christian, and more likely Devens because he's the showman, that's his job in nature. Yes. That he's the one who says, oh, and he acts like he finds it because he knows it's there, and he makes this whole big scene if he feels like he's in danger. Because, I think it's because it's been so established, right? Go to your buddy, Brett, Adam, right? He was the one who tried to play the Tribal podium as an idol before. Yeah. And then they had this interesting back and forth between him and Jeff. He's like, "Can I play it?" And he's like, "Is that what you're willing to do?" And Adam thinks he cracked a code and said, "Yes, I'm gonna play it." And he's like, "You can't play it. That's a stupid. No, it's not an idol. You're an idiot." So I just feel like there's never been an idol at any Tribal. Not saying there can't be. Crazy things happen, but I think that's sort of established. So most people, I assume, wouldn't look since it's never been a thing before. So it feels like, again, maybe to your point, Lurch, that's drama because we see someone dumb play an idol that we all know is fake. Yeah. But I think it's Devens as an attack to temporarily protect himself, at least for one Tribal, and maybe two. He does a whole, I found it, I'm the idol god. And then everyone goes, damn it, we can't vote for Devens anymore. We have to vote for someone else. And he could sort of play it. That's what my gut says, but I don't know either. So put that down for 318 as well, I guess.
Well, I remember very, very specifically, remember Jeff was like, you want to play this? And he's like, yes, if yes, I'd like to play that. You want to play this thing attached to the podium? You want to play? Yes, Adam. Like, what the
And the way Jeff said it indicated to Adam, like, oh my God, see, I was right. The way he's communicating to me is suggesting that it is a thing, and then it wasn't. And that
now, were
was
you at that tribal,
hilarious.
Brett? Was that when? the
No,
whole
that
tribal
was
was-
Winners at War.
Yeah.
That was
that was
Winners
Winners
at
at
War.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his second season, and it was funny because people got to see how
Yes.
Adam plays, and they're like,
Crazy.
I don't understand why he's playing like this. I'm like, he plays like this all the time.
Crazy Adam.
But it goes to show you, though, like he can play like that and win in one season and play like that and fail in another.
Right.
And Adam is he's always thinking too. He's a very smart kid.
Yeah.
And he's not a kid anymore, but you know what I'm saying? He's very smart, and he's always thinking, and he's always looking, and he's always doing something. So I love that scene. It made me laugh. He's my friend, so I thought it was funny. And then, of course, I made fun of him and all that after. But
And just one more thing on the Charlie thing, real quick, before we get off
Yeah.
that. And that Charlie quoted Liz Wilcox, the old player, with
Yes.
the "I am so pissing," and we got a little clip that was pretty
That was
cool.
great.
Just like that, Brett.
yeah, I thought that was good. I like throwbacks like that. I thought that was good, and it shows how much of a fan Charlie is. So I like that.
And by the way, for people who forget, that was all over an Applebee's potential dinner. And she
Yes.
said how special it was with her and her daughter. And I'm so pissed. And that involved Q, of course. And she's the one who voted for Q the night before. So, of course, he wasn't going to hook her up with the. But anywho, great drama. So I appreciate when they point that out. Just because you guys brought up Genevieve, I just want to go back to, again, I'm enjoying the beefs that exist. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Ozzy and Dragon Slam at the beginning of the season. That was
Genevieve,
juicy. We have Charlie Rizzo. That's great. Aubrey and Genevieve.
Ooh,
So, you know,
looks.
they're all at camp and everything's fine. And then Genevieve goes, "Where's Aubrey?" And then we cut over to Aubrey. She's looking for an idol. She's trying to get it. And then Genevieve starts calling out to her, Aubrey. And then Aubrey comes up, and Genevieve was like, "I was just checking to make sure you're okay. You were gone for a while. Are you feeling okay?" And then I just love the things that they don't see, but we see. So Genevieve says, "Oh, I was just trying to check on you." She turns around, and Aubrey makes a face like, "Ooh,"
Arts.
eye roll.
Arts.
But we all see that like, "Oh my God, that's juicy. That's hilarious." And they have this hatred, and they're talking about it in the confessionals where Genevieve's like, "Oh my God, I caught Aubrey." And Aubrey's like, "Oh, I hate Genevieve. She's like the Ricola commercial lady." Like, oh man, it's just juicy. That was great call too. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like just let her look. She's gonna look anyway, you know. I mean, they definitely get on each other's. They're getting on each other's nerves. They're doing whatever they can to get on each other's nerves, and I think it's gonna make great. It's gonna make for something. Something's gonna happen between those two coming forward. I don't think. I mean, Aubrey doesn't have the numbers. It seems nobody seems
Right.
to like her, so I think she needs a tribe swap, or she could be in trouble if they lose. You know.
Are they just too savvy, Brett? So, like, I think we all lose. I've never been out on the island, but you lose track of time. Aubrey thought she was only looking for 5 minutes, but you're out there for a while. Who knows? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It can look like a crazy amount of time. Just when you have all former players that have played the game and you're trying to be all by yourself, is that you just have to be even savvier when you're looking? Like you're literally collecting fire sticks. It takes 3 minutes, but you just try to look in a few places. Up, it's not there. Okay, I got to go back. I can't waste too much time because then it throws up the red
you
flags.
don't waste a lot of time, and if you
Yeah.
do, they're talking about you. You don't want to be away from camp that long. First of all, you don't want to miss anything. A lot of times I found it great to look for idols when you were after you did a confessional, because people expect you to be gone, and that now you have plenty of time on your walk back to take your time and look for this, because everyone doesn't know how long your confessional is going to take. So nobody's none the wiser when you come strolling back into camp, because they know, hey, where's Brett? Where's it? People are constantly asking, where's Brett? Where's Chris? Where did Hannah go? Where's Hannah been? Oh, she's on a walk. We call them a walk, which means she's having a confessional. Oh, she's on a walk. Oh, okay. Now you're not worried about Hannah anymore. She's being interviewed, so you don't worry about it. So that's a great time on the way back, because they don't announce it's over. Like production doesn't announce that it's over. Nobody has any clue when you're coming back.
Yeah, can you explain that, Brett? Because
How long
I think that's
did you pull that?
100%.
Give
Yeah,
us
let's get into the
behind the scenes on that.
details.
That's fascinating.
What's that?
Okay,
How
so I
long
think I
do
got
you get
lost.
pulled out? How
Yeah.
long do you get pulled out for? How's it all work?
Oh,
Yeah.
you never know. You could be pulled out for 15 minutes. You could be pulled out for an hour. You could be
Oh,
because it's however the questions go, and then if the lighting's right or they have to wait to do this. So it can be you could be out there for a long time,
So
and you could be out there for a couple hours. So if you do a quick confessional and you're there 20 minutes, half hour, I would definitely take an hour, taking my time watching, making sure, because once somebody's coming at you down the path, you're done. So you got to actually, all right, stop and just start walking like you're heading back to camp. You know what I mean? Because once they see that you're looking. So you don't want to. So, but if nobody's coming out from the camp into the area, you could stay there for an hour and look.
So Bret, like, are you just at camp and then some member of production comes over and says, "Hey, Bret, come on, it's time for your confessional," and then whoever's around hears it, and then you go, and then if anyone asks,
they're
just
all
like,
right there. They just say, "Bret, you're up. You got to go for a confessional. You got to go for a walk." Okay.
Yeah, because we see none of that obviously on the show. We never hear anyone going to that
Well,
fourth wall hasn't been
do
broken
that?
yet.
That would be
Right,
weird.
right. It doesn't make any sense. But
they only have an hour. They don't want to show you behind the scenes. I bet someday before they end the show, they'll actually have some behind the scenes footage and stuff like that.
Is this in a forbidden area? I would have to assume your confessionals are far enough away that no matter what you could say, they couldn't overhear it. So you're like past the line of where you're allowed to go, I assume.
Yeah, no. Sometimes they have them closer, but they will make it so that you will not be heard. They won't let people walk anywhere near because they don't want people to hear what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, that's an insider kind of thing. Hey, here's just kind of a pontification going forward. I love to just look forward a little bit. So we saw in the coming attractions that Ozzy is going to be ticked. We saw he was ticked at Tribal on his way
with
out.
Mike White going home.
And now he's ticked because he was not in on the vote, and he was developing some trust with Emily. Obviously, she betrayed him. He was developing some trust with Christian. Obviously, he betrayed him. So nobody went with him. He was pretty much on an island by himself. So Ozzy's going to be ticked. Do you see a world, Bret? I just love to look into this prism. And I said a couple of weeks ago when Joe was in big trouble on that tribe that he just wasn't clicking with, man, on this tribe swap, Joe's got to get with Coach and Colby. And sure enough, like a dream matchup, boom, he lands on that tribe. And I am like, all right, I got Joe, and Joe's hanging around for a while because those guys are not voting Joe off. And, that's a nice, solid alliance that hasn't even had to, it just organically happened, for crying out loud. Could you see a world? I mean, it might be a way down the road, although I don't know. This one tribe is getting pretty depleted. I don't see them winning any challenges with these weaklings on this team. So if there's, maybe they turn it into two tribes, I don't know what they're going to do next. I think something else is going to happen sooner rather than later. Do you see a world where these players? So would Ozzy fit in with that group? Because now you'd have this group of, dare I say, kind of old school, hardcore players. Could that become inevitably an alliance of four if Ozzy hangs around long enough and it either ends up on the same tribe with them or they all get to the merge together and maybe there's some kind of alliance formed by those four guys? You know a lot about those four guys. Is there any connections there?
No, I don't think so, because I think that Ozzy and
Dragon Slayer.
Dragon Slayer, the coach, they have a rift going. Now, I know Coach, Coach, and I know Ozzy, and I think Coach, he could, if they need to work together, they might be able to find a happy medium. So I think it's possible, but I think it's more possible to see Sari take, her and Ozzy seem to be close. Well, from what we saw, I think that you'd see more of that.
Okay.
Than Coach. I think Coach and Ozzy,
problem.
They got some bad blood there, and I don't know how that's going to hurt them.
I mean, look, man, Final Four.
I don't think Ozzy's going anywhere because I don't. How can that tribe let him go right now? He's going to stick around at least till the next swap or merge.
Well, we'll see. They've been pretty stupid so far, Bret.
They have.
I think they're fully capable of. Now, Ozzy's bad. Now we'll just vote him out, and we'll have nobody that can lift more than 10 pounds.
It has to be Emily next. She's too. I mean, Christian's not stupid. He definitely picked up a lot at that last day and with what she was pulling. So I think Emily's in trouble if they go back to tribal, which they probably will, because it's a decimated tribe.
The last name fits perfectly. Flippin'. She's flipping. She's constantly flipping.
Yeah.
Okay. Flipping and flopping.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Now, I'm curious. So, in the middle of all this activity at the end of, camp before they're going off to tribal, Christian accuses Ozzy of leveraging for a White Lotus appearance, which is why he's not going to vote out Mike. He
Yeah, I
said
like that.
that's what's really at play here. And I just put it in my notes. I said that's hilarious because, again, we talked about this before that, again, if you just and now in Mike White in Ozzy's case, they both knew each other and there's a pre-existing relationship, so who knows? But that's what Christian accused him of and said that's why he's not going to go against him, and he didn't go against him, and now Mike White's out of the game. Is there any truth to that, do you think? And now it's over, so we're not going to have that anymore.
Of course there's truth to that. They're all thinking that because Angelina got on and that's all she's talking about since she's been out there. And the other thing you got to understand is everyone was kissing Mike White's ass until Zach Brown came onto the beach. And then they were just like, we got to kiss this guy's ass. So I think that there's definitely a lot of people vying up for that. And I'm sure in the next White Lotus, we will see a couple of people from this season 50.
But speaking of Ozzy, real quick, what do you guys make of the rainbow poncho action happening here for Ozzy during the confessional? I'm going to be honest, it gave me a quick double take here. I mean, it's quite a fashion statement, but, Ozzy sort of marches to the beat of his own drum. Thoughts, Brett?
It's like a Jesus in the electric Technicolor Dreamcoat. That's what it looked like to me. Go ahead, Brett.
That's a great musical. So, yeah, it does look like Joseph the Amazing Technicolor.
Joseph. I'm sorry. What did I say? I say
Joseph. But look at. I'm gonna say this. Ozzy lived in Mexico. I know that for a fact for a few years. So I think this is a throwback to that time. He might actually still live there. I don't know, but so I mean look at Ozzy's a cool dude when you talk with him, have beers with him. He's just really good guy, and so this to me is like. It's just Ozzy. It's just who he is.
Okay, so here's a behind-the-scenes question here, Brett. How many outfits do you get to bring when you're on Survivor?
Oh, it varies. Each person's different.
Okay.
But they tell you exactly what to bring. I was able to bring a T-shirt, shorts, no pants. I was able to bring a sweatshirt. I lucked out.
That's what I was about to say. Because sometimes I see people in the morning they're watching the sunset. I don't know if it's been this season, just seasons past. All of a sudden, people have hoodies that hadn't had hoodies before, and I'm like, oh, okay, so a hoodie or some other.
Not everyone gets one, and some people were stuck out there without having anything like that. I was really like if you get pants. If you have long pants, a lot of times they won't give you a long sleeve shirt. So I actually liked having shorts and a sweatshirt. I thought that was great. So.
Okay, interesting. So, I didn't know it went to that level that if you get one, you may not get the other, or some of the rules that work with it. So interesting. Okay.
Yeah. That's why everyone tries to steal each other's clothes when they get voted out.
Oh, Angelina jacket stealing.
Right. Oh, yeah. Can I have that jacket? That was hysterical, by the way. I don't forget that.
I might want the pants for less bug bites, Brett, but is that even true? Do the bugs just get up in your legs anyway? It don't really matter, does it?
Yeah. So the bugs, I only had 1 week of bad bugs, and that was on Ikabula. And, yeah, they're just everywhere. There's just no rest for the weary when the bugs.
I'd probably opt for the hoodie. Out of the choice, like you tell me.
Yeah, I had the hoodie on. The other.
Yeah,
I can still hear them.
Okay. Yeah. I prefer
that. I literally only had to deal with it 1 week. Once we were back on at the merge, that beach, Millennial Beach, we called it. Mm-hmm. It's got a nice breeze, and yeah. The Takala, the one I was on originally, the Gen X beach, that had a nice breeze. So when you have a breeze like that, the bugs they can't fly in it or some shit. I don't know. I'm not a, I don't know who studies bugs. Whoever studies bugs, I don't do that.
Let me look that up real quick.
I noticed that when the wind's up and you have a lot of wind, you don't get a lot of bugs. So.
Brett, Tribal Council, let me ask you about this one. Emily kissing some serious Ozzy butt before not voting with him.
Yeah, that
what
was
did you
interesting.
think of that? And is that going to I don't know that's going to get her back in any good graces because Ozzy's pretty ticked, it seems. But.
Ozzy's in a weird place leaving that Tribal. And I think he's going, what just happened? I'm not in on any of these votes. And there was 2 different votes going on here. So I think he needs to have a heart-to-heart with himself, and I think he's going to. And I think he's got literally, his defenses are up right now, And Christian saying to him, "I'm going to fill you in," would not make me feel better if I was Ozzy.
Probably not. By the way, entomologist is what we're looking
Thank
for.
you,
Entomologist. There you
Green.
go.
See,
Yeah.
that's why.
You know,
Yep,
Person
appreciate
that
that.
studies
100%.
bugs. Yes.
Yeah, one who studies bugs. So
He's good with the Google Lurch. You know?
yeah, see, that's
I
it.
could've
That's what I
told you
bring to
that
the show.
look,
That's it.
I could have given it to him, but let him look it up. He needs to get educated, Brett.
I appreciate that. By the way, we knew this was coming, Brett. Outside of, I guess, the medical, right? In episode 1, we had 2 people go, a medical evac, and then someone getting voted out. But we know this is going to happen. There's a tease for next episode. We're getting a double vote out. There's 3 tribes. The 2 losers whoever wins first is immune. The other 2 will be going. That does not look good for Vatu, who's been going every single time. They figure, depending on what the challenge is, to be one of those groups. So now we're going to start getting some bodies cut. That's terrible for most people, including Lurch, who's already has blood drawn here. I mean, Mike White's already gone. The fact that he could lose 2 people, I mean, it could be 2 more people for Lurch. So this could be a devastating blow, Brett.
Yeah, and I mean, you get the golden tears there, Lurch.
Yeah, you like that.
Tears too. It's apparently a flame. He says it's a flame.
I'll work on the graphics moving forward. I don't know, because I wasn't expecting any of my people to get voted out. So I'm going to be honest, I didn't put a lot of thought into.
Cool and just put a line through the guy. That's all I need. Just a line. Eliminated.
Mike White got the golden tears being
there you go. Just straight out of prison. There you go for him. Yeah, Brett, any words, because we're snuffing the torches here, after the fact, Mike White, any words you want to give to him or Lurch? As again, this is a very common place for Lurch. He normally has people immediately getting thrown off his fantasy draft, so he's going to be used to whatever your speech is, but feel free.
No, I mean, what am I going to say? I actually enjoyed Mike White. I am a little bummed out he's gone, because I liked how he was playing this season, and I thought he was going to do really well. I thought he was going to do. I didn't think he was going to get as far this far. So I was kind of interested to see how far he could get, because I figured they would just vote him out. Like, why would you let a successful guy like that almost win $1 million? But they didn't. They were smart, and he was playing hard. So he did deserve to go home. Because he was, actually becoming kind of a threat. But I do feel bad for him, because I think he could have snuck through if he just handled that conversation with Christian a little better.
And I think the other tribes are going to be shocked when they show up at the challenge and Mike's there.
Oh yeah,
I think we're going to see a real visceral reaction from the other 2 tribes.
Yeah, because there'll be some people bummed out they didn't get to audition for a White Lotus.
Here you go. Here you go.
I imagine that's definitely true. I think that's definitely going to be a factor for sure in all of this. Yeah, go ahead, Lurch.
No. I was so. All right, look. One person. I mean, we're doing okay. I mean, we're through 4 episodes. We've only lost 1 person. I still feel pretty good about a couple of my people, but I definitely think I have the weakest team, at least based on what we've seen so far. But it's interesting what's going on here in the dynamic of our draft. Like, I was saying to Boy Green via text before the vote went down, I got Mike White and Christian. These are the 2 pivotal guys, and they're going against each other. They're both on my team. You've got the Charlie Rizzo thing on Brett's team, so that's festering. Boy Green, you got anybody going against each other on your team? Not really. Ozzy and Dragon Slayer are not getting along.
Right. No. Let me update our graphic here to try to let's get rid of the golden tiers.
Are you going to strike him now? You're going to strike him?
Yeah. There you go. Let's get this. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, nice.
What's wrong with the golden tiers? I like the golden tiers.
Yeah, you get rid of that. None of my people are going against each other, which is Suri and D. There's been a few nuggets dropped over the first couple of episodes about maybe something happening there, but besides that, no, I feel pretty intact. And
yes, that's right. D was kind of going after Suri, and I think Suri would go after D because she won
for sure
out there, and Suri wants to win the game. So
of course, yeah. So poor Lurch.
My problem is that tribe is going to keep losing, so Christian's going to continue to be on the hot seat.
And how about Suri? Let's talk about Suri. Like, holy crow, she's hanging in there. Like, not much of an edit, but she's hanging in there.
She is.
Is that good or bad, Brett?
She's the ultimate social player. She really is.
Depends. If she's going far, it doesn't really matter. She could still win this, I think. Yeah. It's Suri.
Is there a comparison to be made, Brett, between how Suri plays the game and how the Queen, Sandra, plays the game? Is there any comparison between those 2?
I think there's some similarities there. I've said it 1,000 times. It's how I played. Personality, the way you treat people, and social game is so important out there.
Mhm.
And I think those two are really good at it. And you just see them. I mean, you see Sari, like she was on the chopping block and then she wasn't very fast.
Mhm.
And I think Sandra's the same way. I mean, how Sandra has to be better because she's won twice,
Right.
So you'd have to say Sandra's
course.
got a better game. But I will not, that doesn't take away anything from Sari because she's amazing. I mean, she's, when you're near her, you feel warm and laughing and having a good time. She just got that, she just, seems like a great person when you're with her, and she is a good person. So I think that she will go deep in this game, unless, some barring D going after her or something like that, so.
Yeah, well, I just want to reiterate to the 400 people that are in the room right now. Again, me and Brett were on team Zach Brown. So we were on team Zach. I wasn't sure I was going to be on it, but I thought it was cool. Hearing a little bit of his story, his survivor passions, the cool shots of him doing spear fishing and musical concert, the food at the sanctuary. I thought they did a really good job. So Survivor, you're getting absolutely reamed right now on social media, but not from me and Brett. We're here with
because it was just a reward, right? And it was a fun reward and a good reward.
Yeah.
Had he gone back to camp like Chrissy wanted, then I would have been on the camp.
Now it goes too far.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless he actually plays the game. If they actually had him out to play a season, like they've done that a few times with some famous people, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, of course.
So the woman from Facts of Life, Blair.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I think if it was something like that, then I'd be for that. I like that. I like them sneaking famous people out there and seeing who knows who it is.
Yeah, Jeff Probst. I caught him on Entertainment Tonight before the show tonight, Brett. I think it was ET, and on national TV, and he was asked a question about that there's been a lot of hoopla about having a celebrity version of Survivor. All celebrities. But he said this. He said the difficulty is you got to be out there for a month. And celebrities just can't clear a month typically of their schedule. To find 20 some odd celebrities to all say, yeah, I'm good for a month. Don't call me. Don't do anything. Put my phone away. That could be a bit of a problem. So he says, so I think we're going to stick to the celebrities popping in thing like we're doing here in season 50. That was his.
I mean, I loved this reward, but I don't think we need to see it every week.
No, right. It's special in its way that we hadn't seen it in forever, or in this case, uniquely to itself, that we hadn't seen it before. So, I agree.
And the rewards have sucked for the last 5 or 6 seasons. So I think this is the best reward they've had in a long time. Joe says it's the best Survivor ever had. He's wrong. Yeah. He needs to go back and watch some of the first 20 seasons, and he'll realize that he's completely wrong and that there's been some amazing challenges. I'm sorry, rewards.
Yeah. And by the way, random note on that, I think one of the coolest rewards that they've done, and they've done this in a lot of different ways, but they haven't done it in a long time, was when they went, and maybe it's because it's in Fiji and I don't know the situation in Fiji, but they'd be all over the world and they go to a poverty village of some kind, and they donate bikes and toys, and they get to, the kids lose their crap that they're getting all these toys. They get served native food and have a wonderful, beautiful feast, and they just do whatever the natives do, whether it's dancing or fire hula hooping or something. And I'm just like, man, that's cool. We get a slice of the culture that's very intriguing. I used to love when they traveled all over the world and I'm learning about whatever indigenous animals were there or their traditions and things of that nature, and giving back to the kids. That all seemed to be really cool. I really enjoyed those rewards that they do in the past. I don't know why. I don't know what the Fijian situation is. I don't know if that's possible to do that kind of stuff, but those are the ones I miss for sure.
Yeah, those are gone. But yeah, they were fun.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Brett.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's just that they've ruined the show. I mean, I agree with you 100%, Boy Green. I'm just agreeing with you. Like, those are gone. That's over. That's why I liked tonight. I thought this was the best reward they've had in a long time. So,
would you still say though, Brett? I was watching tonight. I don't want to get too sentimental, hokey here on the show, but as all that Zach Brown stuff was happening, and they were talking about how cool and how great that all was, Survivor there's a ritualistic thing about it. And I think for those of us that have watched every season, like we all have, all right, and just, it's like Wednesday night is appointment television, and it's kind of like you develop a specific ritual to it. And there are families that watch it together. There are groups of friends that watch it together. There are all kinds of people that come together, and some people just chill out, watch it on their own. But there's like this kind of warm fuzzy. Like I get excited. I mean, and it's not because we're doing a silly show. I get psyched, man. Like Survivor's on. All right, I'm psyched. I want to see what's going to happen this week. And it's always different. It's always different because the people of every season make it different. I think that's one of the really unique things about this show and why it's lasted 50 seasons.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Dave, it's gone downhill for many reasons, and we've talked about it on here, so we know how to do it again. But it is unique. It is. I think it's also a great show because everyone can watch. Families can. And I remember when it was Thursday. Thursday was the night it was on for many, many years. But I think it's cool because a family of 4, mother, father, kids, can watch, and everyone's rooting for somebody different. And because everyone has a different personality and everyone likes somebody different. And I think that's the draw. Like it doesn't surprise me that Zach Brown watches it with his family. It's such a good family show to watch. Now, lately they've been throwing all this crazy stuff in that nobody wants to see or hear about. And I think I think they're going downhill, and I'm very concerned for the show.
You bring up a great point. So let me ask this question to both of you guys. Well, all of us will divulge here. Forget about who we picked in the fantasy draft, okay? We've been watching the show now for 4 episodes. Who do you want to win? Who do you want to win season 50? I got a player now. Like, I'm totally in this guy's corner now. I am on him. Like, he's my guy. And he's not one of my guys.
Who?
Charlie. I want Charlie. I love this whole thing with Rizzo. I like that Charlie is fired up. I just like this. And I like Charlie. I thought he got robbed in the season where he doesn't win, where his number 1 votes against him in Final Tribal. That was, to me, one of the greatest tragedies in terms of giving $1 million to the wrong person, okay, in that season. So I want Charlie's revenge, and I want Charlie's redemption. And so I am a Charlie guy. He is my guy. I am riding him one way or the other. I want him to win this season.
So there are 3 players that come to mind, and I do have 2 of them. So take that for whatever you will. But
like, Slayer. I know.
Again, I have to go to Dragon Slayer. Like, his journeys has been so cool. He has gone from being made fun of, and when he was telling Amazonian stories and being kidnapped by a tribe and having to fight his way back out, and people are like, "What is this kook talking about?" And they're not believing it. And then to seeing, wow, there's actually some depth to this guy and sort of his journey. And then he's been away from TV for so long, and now he's come back, and it seems like a lot of people are vibing with him, and he's in a really good tribe. I would love there'd be something so cool to see Dragon Slayer, this iconic Survivor player, win for the first time ever. Would be awesome. The other one that's on my team is Sari. Again, I think anyone in the universe is going to have this take. She is the Mount Rushmore survivor that just hasn't won. Everyone else on Mount Rushmore has won once or twice. Sari is considered on this Mount Rushmore of what she's brought to the game, but she's never won in sports. She's one of the greatest teams that's never won a championship before. So I think to represent season 50, Sari winning would be awesome. And the other person is Brett's boy over there, Colby. Like, Colby, one of the things he said after the Zach Brown concert, and again, some people are getting all mopey-dopey about it. I liked it. He said, like, man, that's going to drive me for the rest of this game. Like, it was just, there was just something about it. Chrissy had a line during the show: food nourishes the body, music nourishes the soul. And there was just something that fired Colby up. He's already been pretty fired up this season, as Lurch has highlighted throughout the episodes. He would be. I'm just thinking of representatives of the season. If we go back 20 years from now, who's the winner of season 50? Oh, yeah, it was Colby. Or, oh, yeah, it was Dragon Slayer. It was Sari. Like, those are iconic people that you feel really good about. So any of those 3 people, I would be thrilled.
You only get one. This is not a fantasy draft.
Dragon Slayer.
Pick one. I know you'd pick Dragon Slayer. And to be honest with you, stay off of Colby because he's got way too much integrity for you. You are the Russell Hantz. If you ever get out there, you're going to play Russell Hantz's game.
Who knows?
Colby, one of the most virtuous survivors in the history. He doesn't want you. He doesn't want your vote.
Wow.
He doesn't need your vote. Brett, who do you have?
Well, Russell Hantz should have been on this season. I'm going to say that right now. But I mean, I'm obviously, without even getting into it, I agree. Sari would be great. I'm rooting for Coach. I love Coach. I've always been a Coach fan. I've been following Coach through obviously. I've been rooting for him every time. I think he's a riot. I love his. I thought today was great when he was on, and I believed his team. Like I believed that he was sincere with what he was saying. Like I thought that was great. But God, I'm mirroring Boy Green here because Colby, who I do have, but I kind of. He's playing it very cool, and I'm really enjoying how he's playing it. And also, you got to remember, this guy almost won season 2.
He should have.
So for him to win season 50, I think would be really cool.
He did get the car. Remember, he got that car.
I guess. The car curse.
Aztec or something. It had the tent.
Yeah,
cool. I remember that.
Yeah. It's in a junkyard now in Dallas.
yeah, somewhere.
It's old, baby.
All right, before we dip, guys, I promised that I had a surprise to get to before the end of the show. And my birthday's not for another month, but I received an early birthday gift because I'll be working during my birthday. So my fiance got it for me early, and it's a Survivor-inspired gift. So
is it goat yoga with Chris Hammonds?
I wish that would have been it. That would have been nearly as cool. So let me. I guess
yoga these days, Brett.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, let me throw it over here so you guys can see it.
He's got a couple of goats.
There it is. The latest Survivor book.
It's Jeff Probst's book.
The Forged by Fire. And I've had it is autographed by Jeff Probst too. So thanks, honey, for getting the autographed version. Man, this is so cool. They have pictures of season 50 in here. They're never before seen photos. There's stories from Jeff in here. There's all kinds of stuff. And man, any Survivor fan, I'm not getting any commission off this. I'm not getting any price. But
seems like you are.
Are you sure?
Look at this.
You're Mike White here.
That would make great kindling.
Selling us on some serious BS right there.
Yeah, look at this. I'm trying to find.
That would make great kindling.
By the way, Brett, we found you in here immediately. There's like a Survivor yearbook section in here. And me and Tatiana were immediately going, I'm like, oh, this is Brett. This is Brett right here.
Well, don't burn that page then.
Okay. There you go. And look at all this. I'm trying to find an iconic.
Is it really? I'm in that book, really? Is that a joke?
You are 100% in this book. There's a Survivor. I wish I had it saved. I should have, if I was doing my homework, I would have had it sort of.
Brett, you don't have your own autographed Jeff Probst?
No. Jeff forgets about me every year at Christmas.
Yeah, let me see. Oh yeah, but they just have all these cool iconic Survivor shots in here. There you go. There's all kinds of there's stuff from Survivor 50 in here. There's stuff from your season, Brett, in here. Season 33. Oh, it's great. So again, Forged by Fire. Nice gift.
That's really cool. That actually looks cool. I would like to check that out.
Yeah, it's a very nice hardcover book. There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had that. Like,
Jeff's been advertising it. He's been all over the place. He's advertising.
See? And Lurch wanted more Survivor in my background for these interviews. So boom, it's a very prominent placement there.
What is that? Amazon Books? You can get that.
Yeah, you could get it anywhere. I don't know where she got it, but yeah, I assume you could get it from anywhere. There were still a bunch of them.
And you get the autographed version, huh?
I did. She got it for me, and she said, "Don't Google the price." I went, "What?" She went, "Don't look up the price." So apparently, it's hardcover, and there's all full photo pictures, and then I don't know what the autograph.
That's a little money on you. That's nice.
That is very nice. So it's very
nice
touching.
Piece on eBay for that one, there, Brett. That was a nice.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Little triple my money eBay Jeff Probst autograph there.
There you go.
That thing will be
worth a Bret LaBelle autograph version. That'd go for a pretty penny on eBay.
Hey,
I doubt it.
A real Survivor to autograph.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
If I'll tell you, you get my autograph if you park wrong here in Boston. I'll give you my autograph. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Hey, let's get to this random question. I'm curious of something like this because, like, people have said this about Boston Rob too. It's your guy Derek the Cop. He says if Cirie were to win, let's just say she wins season 50. Would it be more of an eye roll considering how many seasons it's taken her? Because I believe this is season 5.
Yeah,
I'll have to double check.
Plus, she played overseas too, so there was.
Well, yeah, I don't count those, but with
I don't.
People want to.
I mean, maybe I see what he's saying, but I think, I think Cirie is universally loved, so I think people would be happy for her.
Yeah, I don't really. To me, the wax at the piñata really don't. And let me see if I have them.
I will say this. I'll caveat this with that. I think I said that right. Jeff, if Jeff screws it up, like if Jeff makes it a hokey, thing, then it could ruin it for her winning.
What do you mean?
Well, like when he's like, "Oh, Cirie, that's how you do it." Like he had that great moment when she fell in and she got up and she did it.
Oh, the very first time, right?
Trying to recreate stuff like that all the time. It was like, no, that was a beautiful moment with Cirie. We all were there for it. We loved it. you can't do it again. Don't force it. And he tries to force a similar on a couple other people. He's trying to force it. And I was like, hey, I think we even talked about it. I was like, he's trying to get the Sari moment, and you're not going to get it. So I would say, yeah. I mean, I don't want to. I wanted to win, but I don't want him to screw it up.
Yeah, by the way, 5th season for Sari if we just count normal Survivor. To Lurch's point, if you count beyond Survivor
5.
America Waters, it's her 6th.
Wow.
Her 6th opportunity. To me, again,
he might be. Derek might have something then.
There's a lot of wax. 5 is a lot, of course, but it's not like, some people could say it gets easier because of 26 days versus 39 days. That I don't mean that, but like, you still have to, even if you play on your 5th one, your 3rd one, your 2nd one, you still have to win the game. They're games to themselves. So it's not like anyone's handing it to her on a silver platter. So if she wins and earns it, then there will be tip of the cap. I won't eye roll and put an asterisk because it took her so long. How many times did it take Boston Rob to get over the hump? Does anyone say, hey, Boston, hey, old Robbie, it took you a little while? No, he's a legend in his own right. So
why doesn't it bother anyone? It always bothers me as a viewer, and maybe I'm just unique. I don't know. The players that don't, that sit out challenges. Sandra is a legendary one. How many challenges?
Well, someone has to.
All the years. Sari is always, if she isn't forced to have to be in the challenge, she's the one sitting out. And we saw it again, I think, tonight. Got any problem with that? Does that come up in camp at all? Is that
no, I mean, you don't want to sit out too many, but I sat out a couple, and it's because they might have been endurance ones or stuff like that. Like I just said, well, you're just gonna be like I had,
I'm gonna drag
Jay
you down.
Barrett. Like Jay's gonna be better than me. Like, of course Jay's gonna play over me, but like Will couldn't. So many people couldn't swim. So the swimming challenges, I'm a really good swimmer, and I, so that I would pick up where they left off. So you can't. No, I think people are crazy when they get. Like you do think about these strategically when you're doing it. All right, we have a swimming challenge. Will, you're going to be out because you can't swim. You're going to be, David Wright, you're a horrible swimmer. You're out. So you do kind of look at like that, And then when it comes to like, oh, we got a puzzle. David, you're in. Brett, you're out. Because I'm not great at puzzles. So I mean, yeah, you do think to it, but you can't. I don't. Someone has to sit out. As the numbers dwindle, you might get 3 or 4 people sitting out. So I never. I don't like get mad when I see this person sat out again. It's just, it is what it is,
Gotcha.
It's a team effort.
100%.
All right, gentlemen, any final thoughts before we call it a night? I want to remind people who are out there viewing us right now, if you're not already a subscriber to our YouTube channel, there's the link right there, youtube.com/@MCShowDigital. Click those notifications as well so you can find out when we're doing live shows, including the Survivor show that we do every week as the recap show. Boy Green and I do a lot of sports content during the week, so if you like sports, you can get involved in the sports content that we do, but we're jacks of all trades, as they say. But we've been on this Survivor train for a long time, and Brett's been working with us somewhere in the neighborhood of close to 10 years. I think we've been doing this, Brett, something like that. So we extended it from our old radio show that we did for 22 years. And now we are strictly a digital show. So become part of our little army. We'd love for you to join that. And also hit that like button. The thumbs up like always gets us exposed to more people out there so that they know we're out there doing this stuff. Boy Green, you got any final thoughts? Go ahead.
I do. Again, let's give a shout out here to Lurch.
Oh. It was done before it started for me.
Okay,
phenomenal. I'm already. I know I'm going to.
Nice laugh track, though. I like that.
It's a good touch. Good production work behind the scenes. I mean, come on,
put another slash, Boy Green, and make that a big X. That's what it should be. It should be.
Oh, you want an X?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure people saw the name. That I did. I wanted people to be able to clearly see it was Mike White. So yeah, I'll work on.
Just black it out. Let's redact that name like it never was there. Give it a redaction.
Okay, we'll look into that. So great. That's just my final thought. It's Manchild. Oh God,
Brett, you got anything before we go?
Yeah, go Pats. Since this is a sports show, anyway.
There you go. Nice. That's very touching. Yeah.
They picked up a couple of nice free agents.
Yeah, they did. They did. We're going to be in it.
This is, folks. You got a Patriot, a Giant, and a Jet fan in the same room here. Now that could be trouble in a bar. That could be trouble in a bar after a few beers. So
definitely,
maybe one of these days we'll throw down a few pints in the same bar. I'm a little worried of what might happen
someday.
All right, Brett. Thank you very much, my friend. Always good to talk to you. We'll see you again next week. For Boy Green, Manchild here, saying so long for tonight. Thanks to everybody for participating. We'll be back again, same bat time, same bat channel next week, right after Survivor. Take care.
See you guys.